Yes. Oh god. Here we go again. The adventure of the unbreakable
In
something
a corner of
something.
that small, dark room, Sholmes and I waited with bated breath.
It's Sholmes.
In time, there came from the ventilator a hiss and a soft, almost growl-like sound. Suddenly, Sholmes sprang
Thank you for
into
being
action,
here a bit
lashing
too.
furiously with his cane at a point in the darkness. "You see it, Wilson?" he yelled, his tense voice reverberating through the air. I raised my dark lantern shutter, and the room slowly came into view. Sholmes was staring intently at one particular corner when he started whispering to me. The victim's most perplexing final words. The speckled band. I believe this is the terrible coil to which she referred, Wilson. In front of us was an enormous adder, its fangs bared as it threatened to strike. It truly was the most terrible speckled band I had ever seen.
So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder. Pray, do excuse me. The cabin door was bolted from the inside when the man was killed. No marks to suggest the bolt was tampered with in any way. So, this would appear to be a locked room mystery. In his final moments, the victim scrawled a message on the floor. Almost certainly with the ink from this upset bottle. A Russian word. So the victim was a Russian man then. And the letters are well formed, suggesting he was compos mentis at the time. This is a most extraordinary script. And evidently not penned by the same hand as this message. In fact, I deduce it was written by someone of a different nationality. This paper seal was placed just prior to the incident, by the victim himself, I would venture. Well, what have we here?
Who are you, and what do you think you're doing here?
No one must touch before maritime police come. We must wait!
Shh. That won't be necessary. You see, in less than 5 seconds from now, I will reveal the killer to you.
What? Don't be absurd. This is murder. An in-cabin locked from inside.
Ah yes, the locked room. But that mystery is paper thin.
You don't mean the culprit is in there?
Who are you, and where have you come from?
I'm a great British consultant detective, the only one in the world. Sherlock Sholmes. I presume you must have heard of me.
And the murderer was Dr. Wilson. Oh my god, Sholmes, he can have my babies. Yes. Get coffee siphon pregnant. Get pregnant, get pregnant. Ugh, my head is throbbing. Yeah, that didn't work out, coffee siphon. Pregnant. What's going on? Something's not right here. There's trouble in the air. Is this after? No, that's before. Pregnant. Wait, can't move. What the? Why am I in handcuffs? Smirk. So you wake up now, We had to drag you out of the wardrobe. I do not believe how you could not wake up. You are true cold-blooded man. That is not Russian. You. Huh. You found me then. You found me. Yay. Duh. We found you. And now you pay. Criminal. This is like a déjà vu. Why are we accused of murder again? How long are you hiding in that tiny wardrobe? Sorry. Now you have been found. It is time to admit your crimes. Unless you want to find out how cold the ocean is. So things happened and we got bitten by a snake and then passed out or something like that, I guess, maybe, I don't know. No, I tell you everything. There's only one thing I would like to know from you. Isn't that? Oh, it's her. Why are we on this ship? This makes no sense. Like, why are we on this ship? Why did we leave Japan? Huh? So, if Sholmes was the greatest detective, then why are we even having this conversation? I don't know. I think he found us in the wardrobe and for him it was clear that we are the murderer. Why did you take it? Why did you take his life? Miss Susato? Wait, what did you just say? Detective my ass, I'll be taking my babies back now, thank you very much. Take his life? Uh-huh. Where is he? Where's Kazuma? Oh, we murdered our best friend. Cool. Ah, you pretend you do not know? You are a wolf in a sheep's belt. You are the killer. Do not try to make excuses. What? Kazuma-sama's body was discovered not long ago. Here, in this very cabin, that was bolted shut from the inside. Was it bolted? I mean, this here is clearly an indication that something happened with force that made this, like, come out of the frame. So, how was it bolted shut from the inside? You know, like, if they just mean that they shoved the bolt here to actually lock the door, okay. Okay, but why is it then broken this? Like, you cannot, like, push from the outside with force. Well, you can, of course. Yeah, you can, but it would take tremendous force to actually get this out of the frame. And this is a metal door. Like, huh? Anything is possible in Russia. You make sense. His body? Please, do not try to tell us where you were doing this terrible thing in your sleep. Kazuma's dead? But he can't be. I'm fully gonna believe that Kazuma is like, just like, everybody thinks he's dead, but actually he isn't. Just like a death paralysis or something like that. But maybe he's dead. I don't know. What is this? You actually don't see this because I'm in the front. What is this? Like, huh? It looks like a bone, and this looks like a bone, but it also looks like a very thin leg. And this is like the foot. And why is the dish upside down? What is even going on? And these handcuffs. Surely you don't think I had a wonderful night? I have to know. Why did you take Kazuma-sama's life? Answer me, please. No. No! Kazuma. It was just 2 short weeks ago. No! Oh. Are you sure about this? Won't we get in trouble? Ah. Don't you find it fun being in a stowaway? Besides, how else could you come to England with me to study? Yeah, sure. Like, I'm just giving up my life in Japan and go to the UK for the bad food, for the non-existing culture. It was really something else when they brought your luggage in here earlier, though. The way that Russian crewman just tossed your traveling case on the floor. I thought I was going to die. Yes, I still can't quite believe that. I really didn't think you would be able to fit... I really didn't think you would be able to fit inside my trunk. You must be even less of a man than you look. Kink shaming. Hey, honestly, I thought I would be broken. I did broken every bone in my body. I had broken. I'm sorry. Well, it's about 50 days until we dock in Great Britain. But if you confine yourself to my cabin here, I don't expect anyone will discover you. I hope not. I get the feeling those Russians wouldn't be very forgiving of a stowaway. They're a sturdy bunch, that's for sure. What I want to know is, why do we keep it a secret from the young lady? From our faithful judicial assistant Mikotoba, you mean? From your close friend, more to the point. Surely we could Surely we could confide in her, couldn't we? I don't believe she would give me away. No, but if she knew what we would done, then that would make her guilty by association. It's best that only you and I know about this. I suppose so. Anyway, it's about time that the steward is supposed to come and clean the cabin. Also, other question. How do we survive 50 days on a ship without food and drink? Did they think that through somehow? Wonder? But fear not! Sherlock Holmes is here. I know, it's cramped, but you better get in there, I think. It won't be for long. And anyway, compared to hiding inside my traveling case, it will be a breeze. Yes, but if the steward decides to open the wardrobe for some reason, then I'll be in for it. Stop worrying, Ken. I tell you what, why don't you write "keep out" or something on this piece of paper? Yeah, that is fantastic because he wrote "keep out" in Japanese, something that the Russian crew person is definitely going to understand. What? Then I can stick it over the wardrobe doors once you're inside. I don't know. We've only been at sea for about 15 days. How can this have happened? We were supposed to be going on this adventure to England together. We'll leave you at next port. Stay quiet until then. Don't make more trouble for yourself. Murderer. No, I'm not a murderer. Duh, you said before. You said you admit everything about your crimes. What? No, that's not right. I mean, yes, I did stow away on this ship, but... murdering my best friend? No one else could have done it. Admit the truth. Susato-san? Please, tell me what happened. I need to know. Very well. But there's something I would like to ask you too. Ugh, those eyes. She looks like she's ready to destroy me. She's going to destroy your coffee. This nightmare is getting worse by the minute. I suppose all I can do is to try find out what really happened. He really has been killed, hasn't he? This is just a bad dream? And these handcuffs, they think I did it? They think I'm Casimir's killer? When I found him, the cabin was locked from the inside. What do you mean? There's no access to the cabin via the porthole window, and the bolt on the door can't be operated from outside. In other words, after the crime, the culprit couldn't have escaped these four walls. What? You know, sir, Like, the entire case started with the snake, and I'm like, oh yeah, look, a snake could have entered here and killed him and then go back. For whatever reason, a snake actually listens to the commands of someone else, but yeah. Or to put it in another way, the culprit can only have been somebody inside the cabin. Or do you have some other explanation? This is impossible. How did he die then? What happened exactly? Are you still going to deny the charge, even despite the circumstances? Please, Susato-san, you have to tell me. The cause of death is still undetermined. They don't know how he died? The ship's doctors is examining the body, but of course he has no post-mortem analysis experience. I don't suppose we shall learn more until an expert has been consulted at our next port of call. So, presumably that means there were no obvious external signs of injury then? That is true, yes. Can't anyone tell me what actually happened in this cabin? I don't understand it. Why would anyone want to kill Kazuma? Presumably, that's something you know the answer to better than anyone. Please. Whatever you say, you were in here in the cabin after all. Well, yes, I was, but... He would always wake before dawn and do his training first thing in the morning. I was waiting outside his cabin as I have every day so far on this voyage. But this morning he did not come. I could sense that he wouldn't. You have already come. Does that mean he was already dead when Susato-san arrived at this cabin door? I wonder. I knocked, but there was no reply. Then I started to become worried, so I went to find a member of the crew. The crewman forced the cabin door open, and when we managed to get inside, there was Kazuma-sama, collapsed on the floor. Which I have to question, because, like, why would he write in Russian something on the floor? As far as I know, he doesn't understand Russian at all. He never left Japan so far. And as far as I know, it was never a topic that he ever learned Russian. So, to me, that sounds more like someone did something to him and then wrote this perfectly well on the floor and put his finger into the ink to make it seem like that he wrote it down. I'm already solving this case. Also, there's a broken cup there. There's also a broken cup, so is this another... Oh, we're gonna poison someone case? And the white tape there now shows exactly where he was found, I suppose. I had no idea anything had happened. I must have been asleep in the wardrobe somehow. I wish it wasn't the case, but that's just very hard to believe. This is all very hard to believe for me too, trust me. Now I've told you everything that I know. So it's my turn to ask you a question. Yes, alright. Oh, my head feels so heavy. It's still throbbing like anything. Why are you even on board of this ship, Naruhodo-san? You said something before about being a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, yes, I'm afraid that's true. It's 2 weeks since we left Japan now, and I've been shut up in this cabin the entire time. I had no idea. But how could you have occupied Kazuma-sama's cabin for so long, without him noticing? No. That would have been impossible, obviously. Yes, of course. Kazuma invited me. He wanted us to go to England together. He actually asked you? But why? I'm afraid I don't really know the reason myself. I don't understand. Kazuma, why do you want this? What's the real reason? Why go to such extreme lengths to smuggle me on to England with you? It's an idea that has been on my mind ever since the end of that incredible trial, Ken. Actually, you're Rio, I'm Ken. I think I told you then, didn't I, that you ought to become a lawyer yourself. Yes, you did say that, but I didn't think you were serious. You have a talent for it, I can assure you of that. But I've never really thought about becoming a lawyer. But I've never really thought about becoming a lawyer. Well, that's something you can decide. That's something you can decide for yourself. Oh look, there's the bone. There's this thing. This entire table in this conversation is still intact, and then everything is smashed on the ground. London is at the spearhead of cultural development, the center of the world in many ways. There can't be any harm in seeing such an important place with your own eyes, can't there? Can there? Well, no, definitely not. But on a personal level, you know, seeing this scene and the scene afterwards, even this was fallen over, which means he had a struggle going on. Bashing against this, literally like falling on this, before he actually died on the floor. If you were to become a lawyer, then what? Nothing. Forget it. Kazuma-sama he was always saying the same thing. That he wanted to change the Japanese legal system. Perhaps he thought that he could do that with you. Yes, maybe. Something's still bothering me a little. The look in his eyes then. It was darker than I've ever seen it before. Susato-san, I'm sorry that we kept it a secret from you. My stowing away on this ship, I mean. If I know Kazuma-sama, I expect he was trying to protect me, to avoid me becoming guilty by association. That's exactly right, yes. Word perfect, in fact. If you're not the culprit, then tell me, what happened last night here in this cabin? Well, thing is, I kissed him. I don't really remember. It's basically what I wanted to say. Kazuma brought me something to eat, just like he always did. Then I got myself into that wardrobe over there, just like I always did. After that, I fell asleep? Well, yes. So deeply that you didn't even stir when Kazuma-sama was killed? See, everything is fallen over here. The entire thing here is broken. I was interested to see that this thing was still here, so apparently it is. Well, yes. I know it sounds unbelievable, really, I do, but it's the truth. If only I would woken up, then perhaps I wouldn't be in this predicament. But for some reason, my head's still throbbing like anything. Really? Something wrong? Man just happened to forget the most important detail, like no, please forget it. Susato-san, you have to believe me. I didn't do it. I really don't want to doubt you. But the trouble is, there is no one else who could possibly have done this. Ugh. I, Herr Sholmes, deduct that I was the murderer. Ha ha ha! Like, what happened? He forgot. No, I'm pretty sure that he got you know, put to sleep, like with something that he ate or drank, and then he fell asleep in the thing, while then the actual murder happened in the cabin. That's why we don't actually know what happened. Which makes perfect sense. Like, only very few people actually would sleep through very loud situations. Hey, Mita, for example. And yeah. Are you sure he didn't eat borscht? I'm pretty sure he ate borscht on this ship. Kazuma, I don't understand. Why? Why did this have to happen? Drink vodka. Vodka. Can take this. Don't try to go anywhere. You're the perpetrator of this crime. You can't leave. I can't allow that to happen. It happens sometimes for first timers. Yeah? But I'm pretty sure he's not drinking vodka. Like, he's not the type of like, oh, it's water. But let's keep it in mind. I'm sorry. But Kazuma was killed right under my nose here, and I didn't do anything to stop it. And now I'm supposed to just sit around, my hands tied, while whoever did this walks free? No, I can't allow that to happen. Well, what do you propose to do then? Let's have a party, a tea party. I'm going to investigate. I'm going to find out exactly what happened here. I'm going to work out who took Kazuma's life and how and why they did it. So, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to excuse me. Ayya! Did he just... Oh, okay. What the... That was a Susato takedown. A Susato what? What martial art form is that? She hand-food him. I'm going to need you to prove it. Sorry, prove it? Yes, your innocence. I need evidence. But how am I supposed to... Have you forgotten already what you achieved just a few weeks ago? You successfully defended yourself in a court of law. Prove your worth. Fight. Ah, I see. She's expecting me to present some conclusive evidence. I have to get Susato-san to believe me. Show her some evidence right now that proves I'm not guilty of this awful crime. To a Palais Royal, yes. This pin definitely proves that I'm invincible. Ah, the symbol of Yume University. Every student wears this pin with pride. It's funny, but most emblems seem to be either round or rectangular. We have seen this text before. Yeah, it's spiky. Congratulations. Right, bro. This will come in handy at some point, but not this time. Kazuma would stick this over the doors of the wardrobe for me. It says, keep out in Japanese. Though I'm not sure the Russian crew can actually read it. No, they can't. This is the paper seal I wrote for the wardrobe. I remember really working hard to make it. But I'll never forget how Kazuma reacted. Do you expect the Russian crew to be able to read that? He said. Still, I was sure people would get the idea if they couldn't read it, so we used it anyway. And it worked. I don't know if the crew thought it was creepy or what, but no one opened the doors. You can see the remnants of glue we used to stick this over the wardrobe doors. Although it wasn't proper glue, of course, we didn't have any of that with us. So I pulverized some rice into a paste to use it instead. But to a stowaway like me, every single grain of rice represents a precious rations. That's why I spread it as thinly as possible I could. I couldn't bear to waste any. Big brain time. Well, I can present.
Yes!
Tell me, when I was discovered in the wardrobe before, was this piece of paper stuck over the doors? Oh, yes, it was. I remember it clearly. Wouldn't rice smell really bad since, you know, rice can rot? Yes? They don't care. Stinky passenger. Stinky passenger is stinky. We leave wardrobe alone. I thought so. Kazuma always put it in place whenever I went to sleep in there. Just in case the cabin steward or another crew member decided to look inside. So naturally, he did the same last night as well. Yes, of course. The gentleman who discovered you peeled that sign from the wardrobe doors before he opened them. But if I were truly to But if I were truly the culprit, I couldn't have climbed back inside the wardrobe and stuck this on the outside of the doors on my own. Yes, that's quite true. English. Yes. In other words, it's impossible that I killed Kazuma. But Sherlock Holmes has deducted that it is not like that. Therefore, you are guilty. By British standards. That are basically the same as our current Japanese standards. Just pick something and make it guilty. Well, even if you are sprawled hopelessly on the floor, I can see why Kazuma-sama thought so highly of you. Thank you, Susato-san. Now, do you think perhaps you could help me up? Because you are unable to stand as you are lying on your back on the floor, huh? Well, in the light of that evidence, I don't see any reason why I should stop you from investigating in here at least. Thank you. You're so, you finally believe me? I'm so sorry. No. So. What? Nani? Nani? Sus. I'm not sure yet. I can't rule out the possibility that you used some sort of conjuring trick to put the sign back in position. What does she think I am? A magician? The magician? The Rio the magician? Damn magicians and their black magic, right? For now, I suggest you investigate as thoroughly as possible in here. I'll do the same. Alright, let's go to work, Susato-san. I'll never forget the mages. Please, don't misunderstand me. I still have my doubts. Oh. I shall be watching you to make sure you do nothing that might disturb the crime scene. I wouldn't want you using your conjuring tricks to destroy evidence, for example, like the lady did in the last trial, just taking a piece of evidence and destroying it in court in front of everybody, and everybody was like, oh, that can happen, and therefore it's okay. Right, left, up, down, left, left, right, right. Well, anyway, I should make a start on investigating in here. Examine everything I can. Kazuma, I swear, I will avenge your death and bring justice. I don't know why Japan has this obsession with justice, but... Converse, examine, move, present. Now that's a different chord. Yeah, at least make a save first. Injustice. Well, let's examine first. Oh, we can examine this guy. Okay, let's see. So, I cannot move the actual image left and right, so I have really to examine everything here with this wonderful controls, which is, let's say, the least terrible. This is where dear Kazuma-sama would have sat whenever he was writing. Sometimes he sat on me. London Diary. Poor Kazuma, he didn't even make it to his destination. Looks as though the last entry is incomplete. Which means, what? He was in the middle of writing it when the incident happened. Let's see what it says. It could be valuable. Could be a valuable clue. Hiya! That's out of the question. What? Reading something that is written in a diary? What? Kazuma-sama may not have departed this world, but you must not. May have departed this world, but you must not read his private thoughts. Why? But what if it's something important, something relevant to the case? Alright, I won't read it. I will just look at it respectfully from a distance. Poor Kazuma-sama. Don't like prying into people's personal matters either. But in this case, isn't the need for clues more important? Oh dear, that won't do. Oh, what's the matter, Susato-san? Whenever I examine things, I always find myself so focused I forget to look around properly. Ah yes, that's not good. I don't suppose you're as foolish as me in that regard, are you, Naruhodo-san? I'm sure you're careful to look all around using BM, aren't you? BM. Bondage and... oh. Now, let's investigate all the corners of this cabin. I tried to, then she tried to murder me. Yes, let's do that. Suppose my field of vision has been rather small until now. Ooh, oh, 3D! 3D! Can I actually do something? Yes. Really? Okay, fine. Go away. It's some 2 weeks since we set sail from Japan. Have you really been living in the wardrobe for the entire time, Naruhodo-san? I think living isn't quite the right description. Oh, no, I suppose not. Although it must have been rather exciting making this voyage in your own secret hideout. The trouble was, I never knew when a member of the crew might come in. So yes, I did basically have to live in the wardrobe. And last night was no exception. But because of that, you had no idea what was happening out here in the cabin. No, sadly not. This is... yes, it's a bell cord contraption, I think. What do you mean, contraption? I read about it in a book I was studying that talked about life in Great Britain. Large households often have a bell cords like this, which you can pull to ring a bell to summon servants. Really? That sounds almost magical. Yeah, imagine I had like a magic bell that would call Coffee Siphon whenever I want. Shall we give it a little try? Yes! In the interest of cultural research, obviously. For science! I suppose nobody comes from lowly Japanese people. No. I'm sure it's just that everyone is busy, that's all. But I think it is actually important. It could be the thing that calls a snake in, or something like that, or makes the snake leave. There will be a snake in this case. That's right, I will be in this game, Colonel. I think that's some kind of opening for a ventilator. A hole through which fresh air can circulate into the cabin. And in the case of a capsize, it is a very good death trap to make water appear in your cabin as you are locked in. I'll be hopping off from the chat for now. Thanks for the stream. Thank you, Vilnoise, for being here. As always, a pleasure. Have a wonderful rest. Isn't that a little odd? What do you mean? Well, this ventilator, if that's what it is, looks like it must be connected to the next door cabin. Yes, it would appear so. You're right. But if its purpose is to allow fresh air into the room, surely it should be connected to the outside. That's true. Perhaps it's so that the rain and spray didn't find a way in when the seas are rough or something like that. I suppose. Maybe that's it. Did Kazuma write that before he died? Looks like it's written in ink. He must have knocked the ink pot from the desk when he collapsed on the floor. A good thing I'm reading Russian, right? Otherwise, I would say this means Tapaipug. Tapaipug. Yes, it's definitely Russian. Then I suppose he wrote this message by dipping his finger in the spillage. Poor Kazuma-sama. No doubt he was in terrible pain. It's almost unbearable to imagine. Yeah, terrible pain. Just look at this perfectly nice writing that indicates zero pain. How strange. Also, apparently the word wasn't finished. Which probably makes a huge difference in the actual word we are looking at. I suppose he was trying to leave some kind of clue in his final moments, was he? So sorry, partner. I can't read your writing. I don't think that's Japanese, Naruhodo-san. What? What? There's another language outside of Japan? Then what language is it? It pains me to admit it, but I don't know. It's not a foreign script I'm familiar with. What does it mean, I wonder? Why is he suddenly here? Who's that? He wasn't there a minute ago. I agree. Also, that would literally kill that part of the front of the desk. It would literally break from his weight. As far as I can tell, it looks like he might be European. Oh, how did he? You've noticed the man too, have you? I have no idea who he is or how he got in here, but he looks suspicious and tall, suspiciously tall. Naruhodo-san, don't tell me. Do you really not know who that is? It's Tall Guy. He's known for lurking in the forest and trying to kill people. Tall Guy. Well, no, I don't have any foreign friends or acquaintances at all. He doesn't look like a member of the crew. There's something very unusual about him. And is he investigating Kazuma's desk, or is he just playing on it? I can't tell. Well, in that case, we simply must talk with him. Am I just imagining it? Or does Susato-san look almost uncontrollably excited? By the way, I expected that you've noticed already, but just in case. If you press space on people when they are in the crosshairs, you can converse with them. Alright then, I'll get that suspiciously tall gentleman in my sight and see what he has to say for himself. Oh, please do. Oh, please don't. I wasn't finished. He can wait. Books have fallen over on the shelf. Look, they're all toppled the same way. And what's this? A statue of some god of the sea? Although he's fallen over as well. Well, yes, it's almost as if the whole shelf has been ransacked and everything mown down at once. I wonder if perhaps it was Kazuma-san doing this morning. Perhaps it was Kazuma-sama doing. It was Kazuma-sama doing his morning sword training. Do you think? No. I seriously doubt it. Then perhaps it was you, Naruhata-san, in a fit of rage. Yes. Wouldn't have bothered leaving the wardrobe just to mess up a few books and a statue? Could the way these things have been thrown about have anything to do with the case, I wonder? Am I still stupid as ever? The answer is yes. Well, I'll just set everything straight again. I don't like to see a mess. No? What? She's an idiot as well. First she comes in and goes like, I don't let you change anything on this place where this murder happened. And then she goes along and changes things. Why? Why is the game literally like fucking kicking itself into the kneecaps? These are the rules of passage for traveling aboard the SS Burya. It is essentially a list of requests from the captain to all passengers on board. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. But it's okay if Kazuma walks in with a katana, right? Alongside with someone with a snake. What? Why are you staring at me? Oh, sorry. I was just thinking. Are you more of a dangerous object or a pet? What? I can't decide. Well, one thing's for sure, either way, I wasn't supposed to be in here. What do you think this is? It looks like a broken piece of glassware. Actually, it looks more like a bell than anything else. It could also be a car. Whatever that thing is, it appears to have broken clean in two. Which means he cut it with his katana. The glass is such a beautiful color. It looks like a cute little Netsuke fastener from a kimono outfit. I'm not sure, that sounds like Kazuma. He wouldn't have secretly carried a cute little trinket like this around with him, would he? And the mark besides it, what is it? I wonder. It has a sort of brick-like hue. Yes, you're right. It's the color of a brick, isn't it? Even though I don't see anything of the same color anywhere else in the cabin. Maybe he actually cut the snake? That's a very large traveling case, isn't it? Yes, it carries a lot of memories for me. Memories? What do you mean? Well, that's actually how I got stowed away on this vessel. I was brought on board inside this case. Ah yes, I see. It says "this way up" in Japanese. Which, in hindsight, I should have realized the foreign crew member wouldn't be able to read. I was turned over and over and over, and then I was tossed on the floor in here. Oh dear, being a stowaway isn't as romantic as it sounds. Well, it was less painful than a Susato takedown. A Susato takedown. When I went for help and the crewmen forced the door open. This bolt had been firmly closed. It's quite a small bolt, and not particularly sturdy, and it just slides across to secure the door shut. But still, with the door bolted, there would be no way to get in or out of the cabin, that's for sure. It's no wonder everyone suspects me. She glares at me like that. I feel tense all up and down my spine. I remember reading once in a detective novel, the culprit used a needle and a thread to draw a bolt across from the outside of the room in a situation like this. No. Yes, that's a clever trick, isn't it? I'm an avid reader of the detective stories myself. But the door of this cabin and its frame are made of metal, and they seal together perfectly. There would be no possibility of using that needle and thread trick here, I'm afraid. She's right. It's like, even from just looking at it, it's like that doesn't work with that door. She glares at me like that. I feel pins and needles all up and down my spine. Meow, 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 meow. Oh yes, P and M. Sorry. Seigi. Seigi? 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 Seigi. 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 The Japanese word for justice. Brushstrokes are straight and true, just like Kazuma. Yes, his calligraphy always was a reflection of his heart. Yet can you really look at those characters without feeling shame, knowing who drew them so thoughtfully? Of course I can. I mean, I'm innocent, so why shouldn't I be able to? Even though you stowed away on this ship? Now you're going to bring that up, are you? I can't win. There's nothing on this table at all. The plate and the cutlery are all over the floor for some reason. Yes, it's strange. Last night when I went to sleep, I'm sure everything was still... No, wait a minute. What is it? That's funny. I can't seem to remember anything about what happened after dinner. At all. So then perhaps you are responsible for what happened to Kazuma-sama. No. Kazuma-sama's precious sword. He never went anywhere without it. Yes, he was always saying that the Japanese man's katana is his soul. I believe he had to work very hard to convince the government to allow him to bring it on his trip. I suppose that shows just how important it was to him. Now he's gone. But I'm not ready to let his spirit go just yet. What? That's my dinner from last night. A roast chicken. It was really tasty. That's no bone of any roast chicken. This chicken is just big boned. And that's why it's so fat and delicious. Yes, it was very delicious, wasn't it? But did you eat it on the floor here? I'm not a dog, Susato-san. I ate at the table, of course. Which begs the question of when and how the plate ended up on the floor. But Kazuma-sama didn't like the chicken at all, did he? No, that's right. So he didn't touch it. Which meant all the more for me. Oh no! Does that mean poor Kazuma-sama spent his last night on this earth with an empty belly? It's just too horrible. Now I suddenly have a guilty conscience and an achy stomach. Duh. Perhaps I should see what the Russian crewman makes of this scene of crime. Excuse me? What? I was wondering, how's it going? The investigation, I mean. Grandmother told me Japanese people do not make jokes, but is not true, I see. Sorry? The criminal asking investigator for information about his crime? Very funny. Oh, it wasn't supposed to be a joke? He doesn't appear to be laughing either. He's convinced you're guilty. Might have useful information though. I have to keep trying. So, last night, did you notice anything out of the ordinary at all? Yet, of course not. Now back to the corner of the room and make silent. I say no more to you. Did I hit a nerve? Just for a minute there. Seemed a little flustered. He's involved. Okay. Excuse me? Excuse me? Do you have a moment? Shh. This is a critical point in my investigation. Maybe I should leave him alone? He seems a little unfriendly. Yes, perhaps that would be for the best. Greetings! Ah! What exactly were you doing on Kazuma's desk just now? Ah, I see. Fascinating. Sorry? What do you see? It's like he's looking right through me. Oh, yes. Everything is clear now. The train of reasoning has run its course. My deductions have crystallized. You have been in Afghanistan, I perceive. Just recently returned, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry? What? And now, whilst you're venturing toward foreign climes, you find yourself in a most troubling predicament. Oh, well, that's true at least. But how? How the deuce did I know that, perhaps? It was really a most elementary deduction, hardly worth explaining. Have you perhaps managed to deduce anything else? But of course, a great many things. There is no mystery, my dear madam. For example, my dear madam, you have fled your native land of Russia, being as you are, a merciless revolutionary. You leave 16 victims of assassination in your wake and now travel to England to blow up the Crystal Tower. And when the what is this word? And when the berib-boned occupant of this very cabin discovered your identity, you ended his life too. Yes, I believe that summarizes the facts beautifully. No need to hide the truth now. Nothing deceives these eyes, these special eyes. The great language of kingdom where the sun never ends. I'm really bad at British accents. Just to be clear, you are talking about me, are you? Certainly I am. Do you see another in this cabin who fits the bill? A Russian assassin with 16 victims to his name? I don't even see one person who fits the bill. So it's true. It was you who did this, Kazuma-sama. What? and you are plotting a revolution too. So he was looking for Solid Snake. Yes. Is this the story of Snake? Like, I watch most Metal Gear Solid games, but I'm not entirely sure about I was like, it's a bit strange backstory. It certainly was a pointer to something, but I'm not entirely sure what. Is it maybe it's a pointer to an actual Sherlock Holmes story? But then again, I don't know many Sherlock Holmes stories. It is shameful behavior, Naruhodo-san. Absolutely wicked. No, listen, there's no way. Hiya! Now explain yourself. Tell me everything. This is ridiculous. This entire game is ridiculous. could you do it? For pity's sake, open your eyes. I'm not a Russian revolutionary, obviously. Oh, forgive me. And as for you, cartoon logic into work. What kind of deduction was that? You were just saying the first thing that came to your head. Ah, but was I not right? Whilst venturing toward foreign climes, you do find yourself in a most troubling predicament, do you not? Well, yes, maybe. Ha! There you have it, you see? What do you make of that, hmm? Well, to be honest, this ship is en route to England, and I'm in handcuffs at the scene of a murder. So I'm not really sure you could call it deduction. It's more plain observation. Indeed, and observation, my dear boy, is the basis of all deduction. My method is founded upon the observation of trifles, you see. I announce my findings with a brassy certitude. And more often than not, I'm right. More often than not, I'm right. I don't think you introduced yourself. Ah, my apologies. How remiss of me. Do a dance, please. I'm none other than the greatest detective of the century, known to men and women the world over. The inimitable Sherlock Holmes. Let that sink in. So, it's really you, the actual Sherlock Holmes. The very same. The inimitable, actual Sherlock Holmes. Do you know this man, Susato-san? The most famous detective in the world? Naruhodo-san. Of course I do. There's nobody who hasn't heard of him. Nobody! Please calm down. What planet have I been living on then? We must ask him what he has deducted. He will have worked out the entire case already, I'm sure. Really? Why do I feel uneasy about this? Oh my god! It's so crazy that it is a wonderful cliffhanger for the next time. What is this laughter? Crazy.